everybody, this is Ali. Welcome back to my channel, Color Mama 360. It's time for another video, so good morning, good night, good middle of the night, depending on when you're watching. Today I am starting my 2026 coloring book collection series of videos. Now, I know that it seems like it's more popular amongst watchers, people that watch the videos, to do these coloring book collection videos in just really long format. So even if it's several hours long, that seems to be preferred. However, I don't usually have several hours to film, so I am going to need to do mine in a few parts. Right now, I have it scheduled out in 3 parts, coming out on Thursdays. However, if I'm able to get that down to 2 parts, I will do my best to do so. So I am going to be starting today with Maria Trolle, Hanna Karlzon, Kerby Rosanes, and Johanna Basford. I'm also going to be showing you my completed pages as we go through my collection. So I did this series of videos way back when I first started the channel last August. That was some of the very first videos on my channel. And I would say that my collection has grown substantially since then. And so I'm hoping that this won't feel too repetitive and that you'll see some things that you haven't seen on the channel yet, as far as other books that I've gotten completed pages, at least all together. You probably have still seen some of these things in my hauls and my completed pages videos and things like that, but I'm hoping that having it all in this set of videos is something that you guys will find interesting. Also, if it is an uncolored book, I don't know, possibly just to make the video a little bit more interesting, I may or may not tell you which um, is my favorite or which I'd like to color next or by next time next year, that sort of a thing. So I'm not going to be showing you whips today or any completed pages from the month of April. Whips are going to be in a separate video altogether on their own. And then obviously I'm saving my completed pages that I've completed so far in April for my April completed pages video. So let's start with Hanna Karlzon. Up first, I have Tales from the Forest Kingdom. This does have a tab, but it is a whip. So I have not completed a page in this book yet, which is crazy to me. But this is definitely probably my favorite page in the book. The only reason I haven't started it yet is because I don't want to mess it up. Whenever I think about this book, this is definitely the first page that pops into my head. So I am excited to, at some point, get a page completed in this book. And hopefully soon I will be able to get that whip completed that I have in here. And I do have that on my plans for April. So hoping to get that done very soon. The next book I have is Seasons. And this book is out of print, as you were probably aware. I was able to pick this up on eBay along with Spirit Animals. So this book is colored in, but it is April completed pages video, or April completed page. So I will show you that in my completed pages video. But again, I'm just loving the double page spreads in Hanna's books. This is another one of my favorites. And again, another page that I would like to complete, but have kind of been holding off, or it wasn't my first page to color in this book just because I don't want to mess it up. Wanted to kind of get my feet wet, so to speak, with a different page. So that is Seasons by Hanna Karlzon. Next is another uncolored Hanna Karlzon book. It's Tales from Atlantis. This one is truly completely uncolored, but I know I'm going to be coloring in this a lot during the summer. I love some of the more summery water pages. Don't know that I've necessarily picked out a favorite, but you have mermaids. That would be great for next month. I do like this one. So yeah. This is one that I debated getting just because I wasn't sure if I would color in it, but I saw some completed pages in it and that really inspired me. So thank you to everybody who is sharing their completed pages, and you're inspiring others, even if I don't always comment or tell you so. You definitely are. So that's Tales from Atlantis. Next, we have Tales from the Witch's Cottage, and I do have some completed pages, completed, oh my gosh, I keep saying completed pages videos, not in a book. I do have some completed pages. So I have this one. This one is from quite a while ago. Not even sure I have an actual date. Let's see. Yeah, I just have unknown written on there because I'm not sure when I actually completed this page, but it looks like pretty early coloring because there's not a whole lot of um like shading or anything like that. A little bit on the blue wings, but other than that. And then I have this one. This is one that I did last year. Still love this page. This page has really withstood the test of time because I loved it when I completed it, and I still love it every time that I open this book. So this was done with Albert Durers, probably one of my first times using them, and I think I did an Albert Durer base and Albert Durer dry over the top, which I don't do a whole lot now that I have polychromos, and then Ohuhu glitter marker in the insides as well as on some of the bees. So yeah, really, really love that page. Next, I have this one. I feel like one may be missing because I know there's another one in here, but no tab. This one I did, again, I think unknown. Yeah. Um, Before I started the channel, I added in the moon. The background I think is soft pastel, and then everything else is Prismacolor. Probably no basing, based on the time that I completed this. I think this one has grown on me a little bit. I did not love it when I completed it. However, I do like it a little bit more now. The effect that I was going for with the pumpkins and the green, I don't think quite got to where I was going. And part of that may be the way that I did the leaves. I think if I'd done the leaves a little bit different, maybe those would have stuck out a little bit more. So, and then I do have this one. There's the tab. It just probably wasn't sticky enough. This was a long-term whip for a really long time. And then I did do a video, I think it's still up on the channel, where I tried to salvage a long-term whip. And this was the end result that I got. And you know what? I still stand by that my end result is not too bad, especially because the way that it was going when it was a long-term whip just was not what I was looking for. You can sort of see the spots where I covered up sort of those glowing circles that she draws with her candles. I could not figure out how to color those the way that I wanted, so I ended up just covering them up altogether. And I did go through a lot of trial and error with the flames as well. Just had a hard time getting those where I wanted. But overall, I am not too disappointed with the overall result. And I'm glad that that was one that I could come in and kind of save, so to speak, so it didn't just sit here as a whip. So those are all my completed pages in Tales from the Witch's Cottage by Hanna Karlzon. Next, I have Halloween by Hanna Karlzon, and I got this book last year and did 2 pages in it. This is the first one, this cat page. Now, every time I look at this page, I say this, so sorry if it's repetitive, but while I don't love the end result of this page, I will never forget this page because this is the last page I finished before having my second daughter. So I think it was like maybe even the night before or something like that. So every time I look at this page, I think of that, which I think is fun. I think that just goes to show the other layer of coloring that isn't always talked about. So I think that I had very good intentions with my color palette. I think, again, execution just wasn't quite where I wanted to be at. I must really struggle with her candles because those are kind of what's sticking out to me, as well as the fur on the cat from this one. I'm not super good at fur either. But then I came back and did It looks like maybe my tab is falling out again. This one, and this was kind of like my redemption page. So while I didn't love the other one, the end result, I do love the end result of this one. I think this one was just straight Prismacolors, obviously for the foreground, and then the background was just black acrylic marker. And some white Signo probably on the ghost. So I do really enjoy her kind of wallpapery. I don't know if that's what you would call this, but that's what I would call it, like wallpapery pages. Yeah, I still really love this one. Love the way that it turned out. Love my classic orange and black color palette as well. So those are the 2 pages I have done in Halloween. Excited to get more done in there this year. Then I have Merry Christmas, which I also picked up last year. And I just have one completed page in here. I do have a whip as well, but here is the completed page. And this one never, I feel like it just looks so much better in person than I can ever get it to look on camera. Even in the picture that I took of it, it was just, um, I just think it looks so much better in person. I really, really like the way that this one turned out. I did a distress ink background, Prismacolors for the foreground, and sprayed the whole thing with Imagine Craft Gold Shimmer Spray. And then I also traced some of the black lines on the bells with either like Gold Signo or probably Gold Signo. I'm gonna say or Jelly Roll, but I'm pretty sure it was Gold Signo. So I finished that one. I think I actually finished that in November of last year. That was the only page I have done in Merry Christmas. Next, I have Daydreams, and I just finished a page in here for my March completed pages video. It's this one, and then I also just did the quick little mushroom right there. This is Albrechters for the background, and Prismacolors for the foreground, and lots of white Signo. So I love this color palette. I think I said that in my completed pages video too. Love the way that it turned out. I just wish I would have measured the borders so that it doesn't look crooked, because every time I look at it, I see how it's not even, but it is what it is, and I still really love the page. So that's Daydreams by Hanna Karlzon. Next is Spirit Animals by Hanna Karlzon. This is an uncolored book. I do have a couple pages picked for spring, one of which is, again, I just love her double page spreads. So I would love to color this one. Hopefully I could get to that one. That's probably the one that I want to color the most, but I do also have this one marked that I marked during my Let's Find Spring Pages video. So if I don't get to those ones, then hopefully I get to this book soon for a different season. So that's Spirit Animals by Hanna Karlzon. Next, I have Magical Dawn by Hanna Karlzon. And I just think I just have the one completed page. I think the other tab is for something else. But this one, and this one has grown on me a little bit, but still probably one of my, I don't know, least favorite Hanna Karlzon illustrations I've ever colored. It just didn't go the way that I wanted. The colors didn't go the way that I wanted. The background didn't go the way that I wanted. And it's a little too matchy, and then you just have this like bright glob of yellow. So I would definitely do it different, but it has grown on me a little bit since I completed the page. So that's Magical Dawn by Hanna Karlzon. And then the last Hanna Karlzon book I have to show you is Summer Nights, and this is a project book, so I have quite a few completed pages. So I have, actually, if we jump to here, I did do this bug last month, and then I have these two. This one I did before it was a project book, based with Albrechters, went over the top with Prismacolors. This one I did in January, maybe. Again, based with Albrechters, went over the top with colored pencils, distress ink background. Absolutely love the red flowers. They really, really turned out great. And And then I did this one in February, I believe. So, yeah. This one was kind of a labor of love, trying to do a distressing background. Didn't quite turn out the way that I wanted to. I had tried to mask things, but overall, I think the page turned out okay in the end. And then I did just finish the April page, so I will save that one to show you guys for later. But yeah, I've enjoyed having that as a project book. Next is Maria Trolle. So I have a lot of her older books. I don't have very many. Actually, I don't have any really of her newer books. So I have Nightfall. And let's see here. First completed page. Making sure. Oh, first completed page I have is actually the book belongs to page. So really, really, really old coloring. Probably for 2020. And then I have this one. I did this one last year. I actually remember coloring this on my birthday in August. Really like the way that this one turned out. Love the colors that I chose for that one. Have a page mark to do in here. So let's see. You have one more completed page, and that is this one. I'm not sure when I completed this one, and I wonder if I knew. Nope, it looked like I put unknown because I wasn't sure. But it does look like probably again some old coloring. I do kind of remember doing these leaves, and I messed them up quite badly. I mean, what was I even doing with them? I want to say I started with like some sort of watercolor pencil, but it would have been before I got the Albert Durs, so different brand maybe. And then, yeah, I don't know. Something happened with the leaves there. So that is all my pages in Nightfall by Maria Trolle. Next, I have Luna, and I just have the one completed page in here that I completed in March. That was a whip for a little while. Not in love with this page, but it is what it is. It just didn't quite turn out for the effect I was going. I was going for kind of a fantasy, whimsical vibe. And I think that if I would have done I said this in my completed pages too, but if I would have done the trees gray, I think that would have helped the page look more cohesive. So yeah, would love to come and do another page in this book soon. That's Luna. Next, I have Twilight Garden. Again, I have a page marked for spring. I have this double page that I completed. I think I based these flowers with a water-based marker, not the Tombows that I usually use now, but a different brand. And then I went over the top with Prismacolors, I believe. I did this one. Oh, you know what? I may have not even. Oh, I just didn't write down a date at all. Yeah, it wasn't. It was before I started the channel, but it wasn't like as old as the 2020 page. So sometime in between, probably like 2024 and August of 2025, maybe. So. And that is the only completed page I have in here. I have a couple pages marked that I would like to do, but only completed page. And then lastly, with Maria Trolle, I have Botanicum, and I just completed a page. I think this was in February. And I used the Staedtler pigment pens to base. Actually, no, I just used the Staedtler pigment pens by themselves. So that was just kind of experimenting with those because they were a new supply to me, and yeah, just wanted to kind of see what I could do with them. So that is the only page I have completed in Botanicum. Okay, we are moving on to Kerby Rosanes now. I have Mythomorphia, and I'll just say this now since I do get asked this question a lot. I did have my book spiral bound myself, so my two newest books, I think just the two newest ones, you'll notice are not spiral bound. But my ones that I've had for a little bit longer, I took them all into an office supply store. They cut the spines and spiral binded them for me. So I do sometimes occasionally get questions about that. That is how I did it. You can also buy them spiral bound, but they're a little bit more expensive. So the first page that I have in here is this one. I did this one in October, November time, I think. Um, I did it while I was recovering last year. So around that time, October, November, I colored a lot of this, like sitting in my bed. Yeah, I talked about this in the completed pages video, I remember, for this page, but I debated doing a brown or a black background, and I do still wish I would have done a black background. I think it would have made the color stand out a little bit more, but I based with Albert Durs and went over the top with Prismacolor, and then acrylic marker in the background and some Ohuhu glitter marker on the bugs. The next page that I have one marked to do this month, but is this one. And this was the page that my husband picked out last year for his birthday. So I really like the way that this one turned out. This is one of those pages that I don't think I appreciated it as much when I first finished it. And now whenever I look back at it, even pictures of it, I'm like, wow, I really like the way that it turned out. And I struggle with the background for this one. I didn't know what to do for the longest time, but this was definitely the way to go, to have the, what is this called? Anibis or something like that, standing out because he's colored pencil, and then the background was just soft pastel. So not going in and individually coloring all these little details in the background. I think that just really made him stand out. Um, and then some of the like more hidden object type things, like the necklace and this, those I do wish I would have made stand out a little bit more, surprisingly. But I think if I would have just done them the colors, like if I would have done this more of this blue and gold color and stuff like that, so still made them look cohesive. But yeah, overall, probably one of my favorite pages I've colored. So that was the one that my husband picked out for his birthday last year. I'll be interested to see what he picks this year. I mean, we still have quite a while until his birthday, but I wonder if he'll pick another Kirby page, because he does love Kirby. So that is Mythomorphia. Next is Fragile Worlds. I have this page that I did before I started the channel. Soft pastel for the background, Prismacolor pencil for the foreground. I'm going to take a drink. Overall, pretty happy with the way that this one turned out. I also have this butterfly page. I absolutely love the butterfly and the flowers, not too keen on the background. This was a watercolor pencil too, and I don't know, it may have been, was it Inktense actually? I don't know what watercolor pencil I would have had. Anyway, it was some sort of water activated medium in the background, that I did not really know how to use. And so that kind of went wrong. And then, of course, I use that Prismacolor that goes through. So if I ever come to do this page, I'll need to cover that up. But I love the way the butterfly and the flowers, the purple flowers, turned out. See if I have a date for that one. Nope. A lot of these I put unknown because they were all before I started tracking my pages. So, and then I have this one. This one I feel like would have been, again, sometime between 2023 and 2025. So, yeah, there's some water-based marker on here. There's Prismacolor. I would do this page so differently now. Just looking at it, I don't not like it. I mean, it's okay, but I would do it so differently now. It's interesting to think about that, for sure. It's definitely a little flat, but that's okay. that is not it. I must have forgotten to mark a page because I did this page. I finished this page up last year. So did I start it last year too? It was a whip for a little while. And finished it around the end of last year. And I like the way that this page turned out actually. The eels. So pretty simple color palette, but you can definitely see a difference between this coloring and that lemur coloring for sure. So lemur, leopard, whichever animal that was. So yeah, really like the way that that turned out. Let me just double check and make sure I didn't miss any other ones, but I don't think so. That seems like all of them. I'd love to get back to this book soon. There's a lot of pages in here that I enjoy. It's just not a book that I've been picking up lately. So that's Fragile Worlds by Kerby Rosanes. Next is Worlds Within Worlds. So the first one I have is this Dragon Eye. Let's see, did I have a date for this? Sometime in 2024, it looks like what I put. So, and that sounds about right. I really like the way that this turned out. I'm also really happy with the colors that I chose. I think that while they're colors that you might not normally think of, like I've seen this page done in a lot of different colors, but not these ones, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So very happy with the way that that one turned out. And then I did this one and I followed Karron at My Colorful Country Life's color along for this one, but I didn't do a background. And I think that was just kind of my skill level at the time. I was just like, I'm just going to leave it. And it's fine. But looking back on it now, I'm like, oh yeah, I definitely wish I would have done a background. It feels missing on this page. This is one page that it does feel like there is a background missing. So that's all Prismacolor pencils following her color along. I did this one. I have a date for this one. Oh, yeah, it was dated right here. October of 2024. So, kind of interesting colors on that one too. Not sure what I was really going for, but yeah. So that is all my pages in Worlds Within Worlds. Next, I have Mythic World. This is technically an uncolored book because it has a whip that's not finished, but I have like a love-hate relationship with this book, mostly just because there's some really creepy stuff, there's some really cool stuff, there's a lot of stuff that I just don't know how to color. That might be fun to color. So I don't know that I necessarily had like a page that I'm like, oh, I want to color that so bad. This one's pretty cool though. I also like this one, but none really like stick out to me as like, oh, I can't wait to color that. I need to pick it up now. And I think that's just because it's a little bit different than what I normally like to color. So that's Mythic World. Next, so this is one of my newer books. You can see it's not spiral bound. It's Dark Fairy Tales. And I did this page. When did I do this page? I can't remember if it was this year or last. Let's look. It was this year. These actually were both in January. So I did this page in January, and this was a buddy color. And then I did this page in January, and this was part of the Dark Fairy Tales group. Wasn't too happy with the way that this turned out. I had started basing this one. Haven't come back to it, but probably gonna switch up the colors for that one a little bit if I can. I mean, it's just a base, so I should be able to, but yeah. Lots of pages in here that I like, but I did need a break from this one after the Beauty and the Beast page just because, oh, I was very done with that page. So, and then my other newest Curry book is Alien Worlds, and I've just done this book belongs to page, but I would really probably like to get to this one even before Dark Fairy Tales again, because I talked about this in my spring haul, but part of the reason that I'm excited about this book is because I really think you can just go as crazy as you want on some of the pages with different colors. So I'm excited to do just something out there. I mean, just sounds fun. So I would like to get to this one sooner rather than later, but realistically, maybe June, because I think May is going to be filled with a lot of mermaid pages. So that's Alien Worlds by Kerby Rosanes. Okay, now we're going into Johanna Basford. So I have 2 copies of Small Victories. I actually have way more completed pages in my first copy than I thought. But my first copy is now just kind of like a tester slash experiment book where I experiment with different things, mostly just because I just destroyed some of the pages. And yeah, so there's a lot of like whips in here as well that I won't show you. And then my new copy is completely uncolored, so I really need to come back and color in my newer copy. And we could even maybe do some comparisons like then versus now, because there's quite a few completed pages in here. So let's look at some of them. The first is these ones, so kind of the intro pages. I remember being pretty happy with these when I finished them, and they're okay. I like kind of the different color scheme that I went for. Feels a little different. I also have these trucks, which again, just okay. I don't hate them. I did these back in 2024. It looks like in September, so I wanted to be cohesive with the same blue truck and then kind of switch things up. I did this one. I was going for kind of warm versus cold. I did this fish one. I remember being really excited to color this one, but not super happy with the outcome. Did that in August of 2024. I did this one where I was experimenting a little bit with light sources, trying to kind of create some of those lighting effects. I did this one that just kind of looks a little unfinished. I think this was me experimenting with distress inks in the background, but definitely could do this page way different today. I would hope. I did this one, which is all except for the flowers. It's all gel pen. I just felt like using glitter gel pen, so I used jelly rolls. So that's it. If any of these pages are something that you would like to see, any of those completed pages, like a then versus now comparison, let me know in the comments. And I can recolor one of them, and then we can kind of see the difference. That might be fun. So I was thinking this one might be fun. I don't know how different it would be now, but oh, looks like I missed a page. I've also done this one. So yeah, if any of those completed pages are something that you'd like to see a then versus now comparison, let me know in the comments below. So that's Small Victories. Then I have Johanna's Christmas. I have 2 pages done in here, I believe. This one I just finished last year with the polar bear. And this was the first time I had tried to trace original line work and then added in other places. So I think it was pretty effective for this one, not so much for these 2. And there's a lot of blank space on this page, so I tried to add in some waves and the sky and stuff like that. I think I could have done it a little better, but it was a hard page. There's a lot of blank space. And then speaking of blank space, I also have this one that I did in 2024. I absolutely love the colors, but it does feel a little blank. I've seen people do backgrounds on this now. I think if I would have had more inspiration for a background back then, maybe I could have come up with something, but I also didn't want to ruin it with a background because I really liked the colors and the way that it turned out without one. So those are my 2 pages from Johanna's Christmas. Next is Magical Worlds. You'll see this one is spiral bound. So Johanna's Christmas is actually sewn. So I didn't have that one spiral binded, but did have some for other ones. So I have this one. I think I did, yeah, this one in 2024, December of 2024. it's just okay. Again, definitely have seen how my coloring has improved now. I was doing, you can see some like blends and different color combinations and whatnot, but I think I was going for this more pastel vibe throughout, and then these colors just came on a little too strong. I'm not very good at doing like light, airy colors like this. I can't remember how I got this effect, but I think I wanted the whole thing to be kind of like this. And then the outside, I think if I could have gotten that effect throughout, then the outside I could have done a little bit lighter as well, so it wasn't just so bold. I wanted to go for a more pastel vibe. And then I have this one, and this one is the first buddy color that I ever did with my friend Steph over at Steph Colors. Um, we did this one in August, I believe. I keep saying I started the channel in August, but I actually started the channel in July, I think. So, yeah. This one's okay too. Soft pastel for the background, Prismacolor for the foreground. I remember when I first finished it, I wasn't too happy with it because I went for some really weird colors, but it's okay. That's everything that I have done in Magical Worlds. Next, I have Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. This one also is in spiral bound because it wasn't the same size as the other one, so it would have had to have been done separately. Probably will need to be at some point though. The only page I have done is this one, and it's pretty old. I want to say, do I have a date? No, unknown. Well, I have that I have 2 pages in here done, but oh, I do. I remember what the other one is. I just didn't mark it. This one. Yeah, this one's a whip, but this one is done. So this one I did with Prismacolor pencils as well. And this one I like a little bit more the way that it turned out than this one. I think soft pastel for the background in this one. So yeah, those are the 2 pages I have done in Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. Next is Magical Jungle, and I just have 1 page done because the other is a whip, so I just have the book belongs to page. Let's see if I have a date for this. Unknown, so not sure when I completed this, but again, before the channel, I believe. And it's just I don't love it, but I like having these older ones because I'm like, wow, this really does help me see how much I have improved. So that's really fun. Magical Jungle. Then the last book I have is World of Flowers by Johanna Basford. And I have the book belongs to page done. And I like the way that this turned out. I really like the colors and the color palette that I chose for that, actually. And then I have this one, kind of more of a wallpaper page. I like to do kind of these more wallpapery pages when I'm just feeling, just like doing some, usually Prismacolors, like straight blends of just fun, unique colors. So yeah, I mean, overall, I remember actually quite enjoying doing this page. And overall, I think that it looks good. I didn't do a background or anything, but I do remember enjoying that one. This other one marked is one that I have for spring, so that is it. So that is all of my Maria Trolle, Hanna Karlzon, Kerby Rosanes, and Johanna Basford books. We are at 38 minutes, it looks like. Just trying to decide if we can squeeze a couple more in or not. Okay. I think we could probably squeeze a couple more in, so give me just a second. Okay, so next I have Christine Karron, Wondrous Folk. This is a project book on the channel. Before it was a project book, I did this one for Christmas. This was the first page that I maybe ever did by Christine Karron, actually. But also my first page in this book. I've definitely, I love looking at these pages, especially because one of my goals and the reason I made this project book was to get better at skin. I can really see improvements from this to the other pages. So it's not super great here, but I definitely feel like it's improved. I love her jacket and the way that that turned out. And I love the holly berry and the leaves. And I remember just so very, very, very much enjoying the Prismacolors on this paper. And that's why I decided only to use Prismacolors in this book. And the next one I did is this one. This was a buddy color. And even from this one to this one, I see improvements in the skin. So that's nice. Probably would do something different for the background, or maybe even spray it with some of the shimmer spray. I don't know how that would hold up on this paper. This paper is very nice. It's very smooth. It's beautiful, but there's some strange mediums or supplies that you'll use that you wouldn't expect to be an issue that end up being an issue. So then I did this one. I did this during Joe at Piggy Pen's Tubathon. This was also a buddy color. Really like the way that this one turned out, but this is an example. Kind of what I mean is I used the washi tape. Did not expect at all for it to rip up the paper, and it did right here. So some people have given me some tips and stuff for the future, which is nice. I think using heat is always good. I don't have like a blow dryer or a heat gun or anything like that, so I'll have to think of another way, but I would do this a little bit more transparent if I did this again, but otherwise I really like the way it turned out. I wouldn't change much. And then I did this one last month. Like the way that this one turned out as well. So yeah, and I'm currently working on this month's page. So that's Wondrous Folk. And then I have one page in Little Folk. This was a buddy color with a couple of people. We did this one. Had the same issue with the washi tape, so I ended up adding a different washi tape that could just stay. That's why I got this border. But up here at the top, you can see where it ripped up the paper. So, but overall, I really like the way I just try to ignore those parts, this part on the side and the part at the top, because overall, I really like the way that it turned out. Yeah, beautiful page, love it. So, and again, just seeing the improvement in the way that I have been able to color skin over the past few months. That was the whole reason for getting these books and making one of them a project book. And so I feel really accomplished with that. And then I've done one page in here as well. This one, I think I did this one in December. So December, November. Yeah, December. So yeah, really like the kind of, I was going for more of a pale muted vibe, and I actually do think I achieved that, which like I said is something that I struggle with a little bit. I would have done the sky difference so that it stuck out. I don't think I was seeing it as much as a sky. I think I was seeing it more as just like the forest continuing, but I would have just made this part into a sky. That's the only thing I would have really done differently with this page. So that's Wildflower Folk. And then my Christine, or not my Christine Karron, those were my Christine Karron books. My Teresa Goodridge books, I have Country Christmas. Don't have any pages done in this. I do have a whip. I brought this book out a lot last year and kept trying to decide which one I wanted to color. And I would decide on one. Like I had this one marked at one point and then just kind of lost interest. I do really like that train page still. Yeah, I think probably that train page is my favorite. I think was thinking this one too. So those two are probably my favorite. And then the whip I have is at the beginning of the book, but I'll show you that in my whips video. So that's Country Christmas by Teresa Goodridge. Then I have Enchanted Christmas by Teresa Goodridge, and I did do one last year. I did this Santa, and I remember Teresa Goodridge commented on my post of this page, and that's the first time I've ever had an illustrator comment on one of my pages, and I don't even think this one is that good. So but I was so excited. I was like telling my husband, and he didn't realize like how excited I was about it. But yeah, I like the way that I did the background kind of with that more spotty effect. I think that helps kind of, again, give the impression that it's snowing. Why it's snowing outside. Well, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, because he's dressed for outside. So this is just an outside tree. I wanted to do a white tree, which I think I did okay with. Um, Looks a little bit better in person than I think on camera, like just the effect of it. But yeah, overall, it's okay. I would have done a lot of stuff differently. That's Enchanted Christmas by Teresa Goodridge. We have Autumn Harvest by Teresa Goodridge. And I have this page. It's back from 2024. So probably all Prismacolors. And yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a decent page. I did white flowers. That might have been one of the first times I tried white flowers. So not too bad. And then I did this page last year. Again, it's okay. A lot of acrylic marker in the background, which I usually like to use on her pages. I'm not sure it really worked for this one. I would maybe do a different color or something. But yeah, those are my 2 pages in Autumn Harvest. Those are the only 2 pages I have done in here. Yeah, okay. And then I have Autumn Charm. 2 pages in here as well, I believe. So I have this one. This was a buddy color with Jazz over at Coloring Bumblebee. May have been my second buddy color. And I really like the way that this one turned out, especially the sky. I did that all in pencil, so that took a really long time. And then I think I based with, yeah, some alcohol marker. It's probably also one of the first times I based with alcohol marker. I really like the way the tree turned out with the basing. I like the light effect that I did on some of the apples. Probably would have done the grass just a little bit differently, but overall I really like this page. The leaves took forever because I didn't base them. And then I also did this page last year, which I love. I drew in the moon. Yeah, I really like the way that this page turned out. I think it just really gives that kind of spooky haunted house effect. So it's a fun one. A couple pages from Autumn Charm. Then I have Home for the Holidays, and I did this page last year. And I really had a fun time doing this page. Sometimes I just really enjoy these more wallpapery repeating elements pages. And this was one of them. Just really, really, really enjoyed this page. Based with alcohol markers. Oh, I forgot that I'd done this page. You can see my daughter scribbled on the back of it. But yeah, based with alcohol markers. Went over the top with Prismacolors, white Signo, a Hoo Hoo glitter marker, and black acrylic marker in the background. So very enjoyable. Was it just those 2 pages then? Yeah, I do have a whip, but and then this page I did for Christmas in July. Was that last year too? Oh, I don't have this one marked, so I need to go in and write this one down. I'm pretty sure this was Christmas in July last year. So don't love the way that this one turned out. I based with Tombows, actually. I kind of remember it now. I just didn't really know what I was doing, so it didn't really turn out the way that I wanted, but that's okay. Still fun page. So those are the 2 pages I have in Home for the Holidays by Teresa Goodridge. And then my final Teresa Goodridge page and my final book for today is Owl Adorable. And I just finished this page in March. And I enjoy the way that it turned out. So I based with Ohuhu alcohol markers again, and I went over the top with polychromos for the first time. So yeah, let me know how you like polychromos in this book. I thought that they worked okay. Also, but I'm still getting used to them and learning, so I may be I may have a different opinion than others. White flowers again. I wanted to go for kind of like a mysticy forest type vibe, so and I kind of copied these owls a little bit, but just made them slightly darker. Okay, well that is everything that I have to show you, and because we were able to get through those couple extra artists, I think I may be able to fit everybody else into just one part. We'll see how part 2 goes, but I hope that you enjoyed this video. and seeing my completed pages and my collection. And it has, like I said, grown substantially since I first made the channel. So I'm not sure what I'll do moving forward after this, because I think doing it annually might feel a little repetitive, especially because I think I'll probably get way less books than I got between this period. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll do like a every page I colored this year or something like that moving forward. But hopefully you are enjoying this so far and you are planning on coming back for a part 2. That should be out next Thursday, so I will see you then. Hey everybody, jumping in real fast because I forgot a couple of books that were sitting in my April plans pile. So I also have Whimsical Gnomes by Teresa Goodridge, and I apologize I don't have the pages marked, but I will try to just quickly show you. I have this one that I did. I think I finished this up last year. It was a whip for a little while. You have one back here farther too. I have this one that I did for Thanksgiving last year. Prismacolor pencils on both of those two. I have this one that I did in May of last year. Prismacolor pencils and acrylic marker. And I think that is it, because the other one I just finished for April. So there is Whimsical Gnomes that I forgot about. And then I also forgot a Johanna Basford book, which is Rooms of Wonder. Can't believe I forgot this one, because one of my favorite completed pages of all time is in here, and it's this one. I followed a little bit of Karron at My Colorful Country Life's color along, mostly for the water, and then I kind of did my own thing for the metal and everything else, the fish and the jellyfish and stuff like that. But oh, I love this page, and it was so fun to color, actually. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think that maybe, is that the only, I want to say that, yeah, that's the only page I have completed in this book. So it is in my April plans, which is why I forgot about it, but just wanted to jump in real fast and show you guys those ones, so that no book is left out. Okay, see you guys later.